So today we're looking at how to create something like this, and so much more, using LTXV, one of the fastest open source AI video models out there. And honestly, it's been flying under the radar because of its bigger cousins, Hunyuan and Wan. But today, we're giving it the spotlight. I'll be testing both the 6GB model and the 2GB GGUF model to compare quality, and we're also going to check out the prompt enhancer. I'll walk you through some of the errors it throws and, more importantly, how to fix them. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Alright, let's get into it. The first workflow is the text to image group. Then we've got the image to video group. And finally, there's the frame interpolation group. Now, this version does a few things differently compared to the previous one. First off, the Lightrix nodes are no longer needed. They're built directly into the LTXV nodes now. So if you still have them hanging around, you can go ahead and delete them. Another big change, this workflow comes with its own prompt enhancer, but heads up, this thing is a power hog. If your setup is struggling, maybe switch to Florence instead. The built-in enhancer isn't optimized at all, the download is massive, and honestly, it kind of defeats the whole point of a low Vram experience. If you're running a lower spec PC, you might run into some errors. Alright, let's break down the workflows. The first group consists of the Safetensors loader and the GGUF model loader. The key thing here is setting your switch correctly. Set it to 1 for Safetensors if your system can handle them. Set it to 2 for GGUF. And get this, the Q8 version of the LTXV model is under 2 gigs. Below the loader, you'll see the empty latent video node. This is where you set the size and length of your video. You can push the resolution higher with this model, but I'll keep mine at 769 by 512. Now, for the video length, there's a simple way to calculate it. Every second of the video is 24 frames plus 1, which makes the formula 24 times the number of seconds, and then add 1. Let's say you want a 5-second video. That would be 24 times 5 plus 1, which will equal 121 frames. The cool part, you can actually type the calculation directly into the node itself. Just enter it and press enter. Next, let's talk about the prompt enhancer group. Now, this is one of those ideas that's almost brilliant. But the execution is a little rough. When it works amazingly. But if you're working with low VRAM, you're in for a tough time. Here's how it works. It runs alongside the conditioning group, so if you want to use it, you'll need to deactivate the bypass for the enhancer group. Just make sure the switch is set to 1, and then you can add your prompt to the first prompt node. Let's go with something fun. How about a giant frog wearing a rice hat, smoking a pipe? Now, right below that, you'll see the second prompt node. This one is for adding your own prompt. The default negative prompt is usually good enough, but keep in mind that different art styles might need different negative prompts. If you're unsure, just use ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or whatever you prefer to generate one for you. The frame rate is set at 25 frames per second by default. I think I'll leave everything else as it is. The only settings I tweak here are CFG scale. I'll set mine to 3.6 and steps, which I'll bump up to 30 to give it a little more room to work. I'm also leaving stretch set to true because I don't want to crop the input. I'm going to start with the original base model, so I'll make sure the model switch is set to 1. Later, I'll switch it to 2 for the GGUF models and compare the results. Okay, so first it enhances the prompt, but the final video looks weird. Instead of the full description, I'll just use giant frogs smoking a pipe. Alright, let's see. This looks way worse than the first version. That's not what I expected. Let's check the enhanced prompt. And actually it looks pretty solid. I'll run it again, same prompt, same seed, but this time with the GGUF model. To do that, I'll turn the model switch to 2, paste in the enhanced prompt, and also change the prompt switch to 2. Not good at all. Let's strip things down even further. Or try a super simple prompt, just dog. The enhanced prompt looks fine, but what about the video? This looks a bit better. Giving the prompt enhancer simple prompts seem to work a little better. I also have a theory. If I increase steps, I might get better results. Let's bump it up to 40 and see. Yeah, that actually looks better. But here's the thing, I'm still not completely sold on text to video. The output is always kind of unpredictable. Let's take the prompt enhancer out of the equation and try a custom prompt instead. I'll leave the model switch at 1 for Safetensors, set the prompt switch to 2 for my own prompt, and run it again. Alright, this looks decent enough. But just so you know, I'm not cherry-picking results here. What you see is exactly what you get. Next up is image to video. I'm going to start with this image and see what LTXV decides to give me. I'll leave the width and height at 768 by 512, keep the switch at 1 for Safetensors, and set the prompt switch to 1 to use the enhanced prompt. For the actual prompt, let's go with something fun. A rhino and a camel talking. I'll bump the steps up to 40 and cue it up. Okay, this has way too many artifacts. Let me check the prompt and see if anything looks off. The enhanced prompt says the bear's eyes light up with amusement. I do not see a bear in the image. Alright, let's try something else. I'm going to add my own prompt and see if I get better results. I'll change the prompt switch to 2 to use my own input and cue it again. This second video looks a little more consistent. It's not perfect, but it's definitely better. Honestly, I think I could get something decent after a few hours of tweaking settings and adjusting prompts. Now, let's move on to frame interpolation. This is where the workflow changes a bit. It gives you way more control over the final output. Here's what's happening. Instead of generating an entire video from scratch, you're giving LTXV a start frame and an end frame. Or even a middle frame if you want to. LTV takes those images and generates a smooth video between them. Technically, you can add as many frames as you want to, but you'll need to adjust the LTXV guide values to tell the model where to place each frame in the sequence. Let's say I want my video to be 5 seconds long. Since we're working with 24 frames per second, my total frame count needs to be 121 frames because of that +1 thing. Here's how we set up the guides. The first frame is always 0. The last frame can be -1 or 121. Both work the same, just be sure you use your final frame count as the last frame if you're not using -1. If I want to add a middle frame, I pick a value between 0 and 121. In my case, I'll use 50, which means that the second image will be placed exactly at frame 50. To make this workflow flexible, I've added bypass switches so I can ignore any frame guides I'm not using. Let's test this with a time lapse of a tree growing. I've got 3 images. The first is a sprout, the second is a small tree, and the third is a fully grown tree. Important note, all images need to be the same resolution. I've set mine to square, and that resolution is automatically carried over to all the nodes. Now I'm going to test 2 different prompts. One simple prompt and one large language prompt. For the simple prompt, I'll go with a young sapling growing into a tree, time lapse, and since I'm working with 121 frames, I'll set the middle frame at 60 and make sure the last 2 guides are active. This output does not look great. I've noticed that short prompts work really well when both images are almost identical with just one minor difference. But for something with big visual changes, a large language model generated prompt is usually better. I'm going to increase the steps to 40 and see what happens. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now, this is what I was expecting. Next, I'm going to use these 2 images and I'll set the resolution to 512 by 768. I'm also going to disable the last frame and set the second frame's index to -1, which basically tells the system that it's the last frame. Now, for the prompt, I'll use ChatGPT to generate one based on these 2 images. The result isn't bad. It's actually decent, but I think it can be improved. The movement is a little off, which I'm guessing is because of the prompt and image compression settings. Tweaking the prompt a bit might help, and lowering the image compression could reduce some of that unnecessary movement. Let's talk about how to properly prompt for LTXV, or at least how they want us to prompt for it. And while we're at it, let's deal with the prompt enhancer error. Because if you've run into it, you know how frustrating it can be. The fastest way to create a system prompt for yourself is to actually use the same system prompt that LTXV uses for their own prompt enhancer. To do that, here's what you need to do. Go to the Custom Nodes folder inside ComfyUI, then find the ComfyUI LTX video folder. Once you're there, look for Prompt Enhancer Utils, right-click it, and select Edit in Notepad, or whatever text editor you prefer. Once you have it open, there are 2 sections that matter. One is called T to V Cinematic Prompt, and the other is I to V Cinematic Prompt. These are what the LTXV Prompt Enhancer is using to format prompts for text to video and image to video. Copy the entire T to V Cinematic Prompt section and paste it into ChatGPT or DeepSeek. Right below it, just add your own user prompt and describe the image you're looking for. That'll give you a prompt that's perfectly formatted for LTXV's text to video workflow. Now, if you're dealing with the image to video workflow instead, do the same thing but with the I2V cinematic prompt section. It works the exact same way and should give you really solid results. You can also use any large language node and use it as a system prompt. This is especially useful if the prompt enhancer is acting up or straight up refusing to work. Now, let's talk about image compression in LTXV, because this plays a huge role in how much movement you get in your videos. Compression actually introduces noise into the image, and that's what gives LTXV more to work with when generating motion. If you've noticed erratic movement in your outputs, like weird jumps or jittery animations, that's probably why. The trick here is to adjust the image compression value. If you want less chaotic movement, lower the compression. The default is 40, but I wouldn't just stick to that. Play around with it. Keeping it between 20 and 40 should give you much better results, depending on your specific prompt and images. Next, let's get into the prompt enhancer error, because this is one of the most annoying things you'll run into. It just decides to give up sometimes. This is what the error looks like, and yeah, it's mostly happening on systems with lower specs. The best fix I've found is actually from GitHub, and it's a simple tweak to the prompt enhancer nodes file. Here's what you need to do. Go back to the LTX video folder inside the custom nodes folder, find the file called prompt enhancer nodes, right-click it, and open it in a code editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, but you can use whatever you like. Press Ctrl+F to open the search bar and type def enhance. Hit the down arrow to jump to that line of code. You'll see a few lines that need to be changed. I'll highlight exactly what you need to modify, and I'll also link to the fix in the description below. Once you've made those changes, save the file, close your editor, and restart Comfy. That's it. The prompt enhancer should work now. What's weird is that this thing runs way faster on a high-end PC, but if your system isn't that powerful, it can feel like it's moving at snail speed. So, what do I think about this new iteration? Honestly, it's hit or miss. I got some amazing results when I used LM Party with Florence as the captioner, but here's the thing, LTXV isn't some magic one-click solution. It's running on a 2 billion parameter model, which in AI terms isn't massive. The fact that it even works this well is kind of a miracle. That said, I'm not going to dunk on this model. It's free, it's open source, and it's even commercially usable now because of its new license. Plus, you can run it with as little as 6 GB of VRAM, which is pretty wild. With that out of the way, let's get this running on your system. The workflow link is in the description below, so grab that first. Now there are two sets of models, one is Safetensors and the other is GGUF. I've also included a video upscaler that works with basic upscale models, so you can choose whatever you like. The rest of the setup will download automatically. Let's start with Safetensors. Click on the link in the description, download the model, and once that's done, place it inside the model's checkpoints folder. Next up is the clip model. Again, grab it from the link in the description, download it. And this time, put it inside the model's clip folder. Now, for the GGUF models, go ahead and download them from the description link. And when that's done, place them inside the model's UNet folder. For the F5GGUF model, same process, download it and place it inside the model's clip folder. The last model you need is the VA model. Click the link in the description, download it, and once that's done, move it into the model's VAE folder. Alright, now let's get the upscale model. Open ComfyUI, go to the model manager, search for upscale, and install any upscaler you like. Personally, I use the 4x ultra sharp model, but pick whatever works best for you. Once you've installed everything, restart ComfyUI. Then drag and drop the workflow file into it. If you get a warning about missing nodes, don't worry. Just open the model manager, select install missing nodes, let it do its thing, restart ComfyUI, and you're done. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next. Also check out our Sneaky Robot website for more free workflows. Till next time, bye.